Section 11.1 From Arithmetic to Algebra. In arithmetic, we calculated with numbers using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In algebra, we will still use numbers in the four operations, but we will also use letters such as X, Y, C, D, W, L to represent numerical values. These letters are called variables and represent different numerical values. We will also talk about the term expressions. An expression is a mathematical idea written in numbers and/or variables. Expressions can also have any of the four operations included in them. We will first concentrate on writing expressions that are written in word form. Before we begin writing algebraic expressions from words, let's look at some common math words that are used for the four different operations. You can see that for each one of the four, I put 3 or 4 different words, common words that are used. So for addition, if you hear the word sum, plus, or increased by, that generally means addition. I'm going to underline the word sum because sum is the most important math word that is there. For subtraction, difference, minus, decreased by, and less than. And once again, I'm going to underline the word difference, which is the math word meaning subtraction. For multiplication, product, times, of, and by, and I'll underline product. And for division, quotient, divided, and into. And once again, quotient is the main math word that you will see as you are working through this particular section. Here are some examples of changing words into algebraic expressions. The first one, the sum of x and y. Sum means addition. So, for that particular one, I could write x plus y. In this particular case, because it doesn't matter, because addition is commutative, it can be x plus y, I could also write y plus x, and it would not matter. For 7 more than b, if I want 7 more than b, I would have b plus 7. Once again, though, if I wanted to, I could say 7 plus b, because addition is commutative. The third one that I have, x decreased by 5. I have x, I want to decrease it by 5. So I have x subtract 5. This is one case in which I cannot write it as 5 subtract x. I can't do that because subtraction is not commutative. It does not mean the same thing. I have x and I want to decrease it by 5, so my answer does have to be x subtract 5. The fourth one I have, the product of 3 and m. I could write it as 3 times m, and I put a dot there to indicate the multiplication sign, but you would not see it written that way. Instead, you would just see it written 3m, because if there is no sign between a number and the variable, or actually even just in between two variables, it's understood to be multiplication. So you're going to see that written in the book as just 3m. Once again, though, because multiplication is commutative, I could also write it m3. Generally, you would not see that. It would certainly, if you had written it that way, if you wrote it that way, it would be considered correct, but generally the number comes first. So you would probably see this written as 3m instead of m3. The last one, the quotient when b is divided by 2. Quotient means division, so I want b divided by 2. If I wanted to, I could also write it as a fraction, b divided by 2 that way. So either one of these would work. But remember, once again, division is not commutative. So I could not do 2 divided by b. That would not be correct. I could also not write it as a fraction, 2 divided by b, because this says the quotient when b is divided by 2. As you are working through the homework on this section, oftentimes you will see that there are two operations in the same expression. And here are 4 different examples. The first one, 3 times the sum of m and n. If I want 3 times the sum of m and n, I need the sum of m and n, which would be m plus n, and then I need to multiply that by 3. 3 times this sum is what that is saying. The second one, the sum of 3 times m and n, and m and n. The sum of 3 times m, here's 3m, and n, so I want 3m plus n. I wanted the sum of 3 times m and n. And the and really separates those 2 different parts of that expression that I have. The third one, the quotient of a plus b divided by 5. So I know I'm going to need a quotient, and I need a plus b divided by 5. And there's my quotient, because quotient is division. The quotient of a plus b, here's a plus b, divided by 5. And then the last one, the product of x plus y and x minus y. So I know I need multiplication. X plus y would be written this way. X minus y would be written this way. And I want the product of the 2. So I'm going to be multiplying those. The product of x plus y and x minus y. And it is multiplication. Once again, I could, if I wanted to, put a little dot there to indicate multiplication. I could put an x, although that would get confusing because I'm using an x for a variable as well. Generally, though, you would not see anything there. There's an understood multiplication sign in there. Writing algebraic expressions from words is an important skill when solving algebraic equations that are written in words. Please let me know if you have any questions while working through the homework problems in this section. Thank you.